बोले सो निहाल।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਐਸੀ ਮਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਕੋ ਸੋਨਾ ਕੋ ਅਤੇ ਪਰਵਿੰਦਰ ਕੋ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸਰਵਣ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੇਰੇ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਅੱਛੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸਰਵਣ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਪੀਚਿਸ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਲਬੀਰ ਸਿੰਘ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੁਲਬੀਰ ਸਿੰਘ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਅਤੇ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਣਗੇ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
A martyr is a person who died for a noble cause.
The number of Sikhs executed by Muslim rulers is considerable. The Shahid Gunj Temple in Lahore is a monument to the sacrifice of hundreds of Sikhs. I will talk about 4 such martyrs. Mati Das was a companion and personal attendant of Guru Tegh Bahadur. He was imprisoned in the Delhi fort in 1675. He was offered the usual choice, Islam or death. He chose death. He was cruelly tortured by being sawed into 2 pieces. This was done to despirit Guru Tegh Bahadur. But the Guru preferred martyrdom to the change of faith. Mani Singh was a devout Sikh of Guru Gobind Singh. The Guru dictated to him the whole of Guru Granth Sahib at Sandama Sahib. After the Guru's passing away, he lived at Amritsar and looked after the Harmandir. In 1738, he applied for permission to hold the Diwali fair at the temple. He was permitted to do so on a promise to pay 5,000 rupees at the conclusion of the fair. He invited the Khalsa community to join the fair at Amritsar. Meanwhile, the government of Lahore sent troops to Amritsar ostensibly to keep order, but actually to attack the Sikhs. Mani Singh cancelled the fair. He could not therefore pay the 5,000 rupees. He was arrested and asked to pay the amount or to embrace Islam. He refused to recant and was sentenced to death. His body was cut at each joint and thus he became a martyr. Tharu Singh was a devout Sikh who lived in the Manja region. He was arrested for supplying food and shelter to Sikhs who had been driven into forests. He was arrested before the governor of Lahore and offered the usual option, Islam or death. Tharu Singh declined to change his faith. He was put on the wheel and his limbs were crushed. While half dead, his skull was cut along with the hair. He died like a true martyr with the Naam on his lips. Shabazz Singh was a boy of 15. He refused to accept Islam at the bidding of his Muslim teacher. He and his father were asked to make the usual choice between Islam or death. On their refusal to accept Islam, they were broken on the wheel in 1745. These are 4 of the hundreds of Sikh martyrs who will be immortal because of their deeds.
ऐसी सरदार गुरबीर सिंह जिन्होंने सिख शहीदां बारे जात बारे अपनी स्पीच दी है। इस तो बाद यादप्रीत सिंह होंगे।
My speech today is about the 80 martyrs of Malaya Kota. After the Great War of 1857 in India, when Britishers spread all over India, including Punjab, after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, there was no easy way one could fight the rulers for their freedom. In 1862, Baba Ram Singh, who was once in the army of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, after a great thought, he decided to fight the Britishers by means of non-violence and total boycott, because he thought it was impossible to drive away the rulers at that time by force. Baba Ram Singh, who was known as the 12th Guru of Namdhari Sikhs, gave up his sword and gun and propagated his idea of non-violence among his friends and then followers. He preached total social boycott of the British rulers. He and his followers would not use any foreign goods, railways for transport, postal services, and schools run by the Britishers. They also changed their dress code and wore whites and carried a rosary and all the time sang shabads and recited Vaheguru's name. They were also total vegetarians. They always spoke the truth, helped each other, and did not obey any British laws. And they looked in every way harmless. Gradually this movement became popular and started gaining strength. Its followers increased by leaps and bounds. The Britishers started worrying about this and began taking harsher steps against these Sikhs. They even started punishing them by putting them in jails. And when they were full to capacity, they sent them to Kalapani and even hung these totally non-violent Sikhs. Once a few Namdhari Sikhs, out of anger, killed many butchers working in the slaughterhouses around Harimandir Sahib, the Golden Temple in Amritsar. When they saw that eagles and crows were picking the raw meat and bones left in the slaughterhouses and dropping them in the holy lake around the Golden Temple in Guru Kalangar. When Baba Ram Singh came to know this, he asked these Sikhs to give themselves up because they acted against the policy of nonviolence. To his surprise, 86 gave their names when only 5 or 6 people had taken part in this act. These 86 were taken into custody by the British, and without trial they were blown in front of cannons in Malerkotla, a town in Punjab. One of these 86 was a young boy named Bishan Singh of 8 years, who was too short in front of the cannons and could not be blown away. He was being released in spite of his confession. This boy angered the general who was in charge of firing by pulling his beard. Bishan Singh made a platform of bricks and stood on it to reach the height of the cannon's barrel. He was also blown to pieces. These were the Sikhs who gave their lives for a cause, the freedom from foreign rule, and joined the martyrdoms in Sikh history. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇਹ ਸਨ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਬਾਬਾ ਰਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਬਾਬਾ ਰਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਹਿੰਸਕ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਦਾ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ। ਹਰ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਤਨੀ ਕਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੈ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਹੁਣ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਪੀਚ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ।
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. The topic of my speech today is martyrdom of Baba Deep Singh Ji. Baba Deep Singh was a Sikh belonging to the village Fawins in the district of Amritsar. He was very tall, strong, and uncommonly brave. He had received baptism from the hands of Guru Gobind Singh Ji himself. He was a bold and fearless saint warrior, always ready to risk his life for the punt. He took part in many battles of Baba Banda Singh and helped him win many victories. Besides being a great warrior, he was a scholar too. In fact, he was one of the most scholarly Sikhs of his time. Along with Bhai Mani Singh, he helped Guru Gobind Singh in preparing the final text of Guru Granth Sahib Ji at Damdama Sahib, where he was in charge of that Gurdwara. During his time, Ahmed Shah Abdali was in India on his 4th invasion. On his return from Delhi, he stayed at Lahore for some time. He had experienced a good deal of trouble at the hands of the Sikhs, so he decided to punish the Sikhs at Amritsar. He sent a large force to Amritsar. Amritsar city was destroyed. All sacred buildings, including their Bar Sahib, were demolished, and the sacred tank was filled up. When this news reached Damdama Sahib, Baba Deep Singh was extremely upset. He decided to go to Amritsar to avenge this insult. He, along with about 500 brave Sikhs, marched towards Amritsar. He declared on the way that the coming Diwali will be celebrated at Amritsar. A large number of Sikhs joined him on the way. By the time he reached Taran Taran, about 5,000 men were with him. All of them took a bath in the sacred tank of Taran Taran and prayed together that they will go to Amritsar and will protect and rebuild their Bar Sahib. Jahan Khan, the deputy governor of Lahore, came to know about the Sikh plan and brought a large army towards Amritsar. The two forces met near Gohavar, a place midway between Amritsar and Taran Taran. Initially, the Sikhs were winning the battle, but when a large army of Utte Khan also arrived with heavy artillery, many Sikhs lost their lives. In spite of heavy odds, brave Sikhs kept on fighting and advancing towards Amritsar. When they reached Ramsar, Baba Deep Singh received a mortal cut in his neck. He was about to fall. Just then a Sikh near him said, "Babaji, you have prayed you shall fall a martyr in the precincts of the Bar Sahib, but you seem to be departing here." On hearing this Sikh's words, he quickly rallied at once. He held and supported his head on with one hand and kept on fighting with the gunda on the other hand. Thus destroying his enemies, he reached the precincts of Sri Darbar Sahib. His vow and prayer were fulfilled. He fell there to become a martyr in the year 1757. At the place where he was wounded stands the Gurdwara in his memory. It is called Shahidganj Baba Deep Singh. Thus he lived up to the saying of our Bani, Japta Prem, Kailan Ka Chao, Sirtar Tali Gali Meria, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇਹ ਸਨ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ। ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬਹਾਦਰੀ ਸਿੱਧਕ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੌਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਦਾ। ਇਸ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੀ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਿਤਨੇ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸਨ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਹੁਣ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਇਸ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਸੁਣੋਗੇ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ 1 ਘੰਟੇ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਯੂਥ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ, ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ 15 ਮਿੰਟ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਨਿਹਾਲ। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
ਬੋਲੇ ਜੋਹਾਰ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇਹ ਸੀ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਬਿਕਰਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਪਾਰਟੀਸਪੇਸ਼ਨ ਸੀ ਯੂਥ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਆਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਪਰੰਤ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ 15 ਮਿੰਟ ਲਈ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੈ, ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹਰ ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ 9 ਤੋਂ 10 ਤੱਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕਿਤਨਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਕੇ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈਣ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫਿਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸੁਨੀਤ ਕੌਰ, ਜਸਮੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਨ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।